Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ascendant Nomad, and today is BRAVExHERO's turn to take over the channel. As a reminder, this is the third guide of 6 to be posted over the coming days. We're taking turns of presenting every other day as well, so today's BRAVExHERO's turn, then it will be mine the following day, then back to BRAVExHERO again before I round out the series with the final installment. We both made our own videos and we're both posting them simultaneously to our channels. No changes. I hope you're enjoying the collaboration so far. If you like the videos, then be sure to check out BRAVExHERO in the description below that like button. I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.
Alright guys, welcome back to a brand new video. This is another episode of a 6-part series. So this is episode 3, meaning if you didn't watch the last 2 episodes, go watch them now, where I, and along with Ascendant Nomad, link in the description to his YouTube channel, will be giving you the tips to succeed in Trials of Osiris. Now, I highly recommend you watch those episodes first prior to watching this one if you haven't done so already. So today's video, we're going to be focusing on subclass builds and team builds, something you can take into Trials of Osiris and get the upper hand. I personally feel like there are so many builds that can be composed around your exotic armor, from class abilities to subclass trees to overall weapons you utilize. Now, this past season, I really dove deep into a few of these builds and found some hidden gems. And these builds are going to allow you to overall get perfect map awareness, knowing where your enemies are at all times, allow you to be pretty much a walking tank, or ultimately allow your teammates to deal massive amounts of damage. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you the 5 best builds that you may want to consider utilizing. And again, if you utilize them to their fullest potential, you will possibly get the upper hand in Trials of Osiris. So again guys, this is the subclass and team builds video. Enjoy. Getting into our first build, which has a lot of viability in the elimination format. This build right here is going to allow you to defeat the enemy in front of you and begin your health regeneration along with staying in the fights. Now the first build is going to be called Celestial Healing. Again, Celestial Healing. You can already tell that's going to be based around your Celestial Fire melee. Now that build is going to require 2 things. You need to be top tree Dawnblade, a Tomb of the Sky, since you will be utilizing your Celestial Fire melee. Next, you're going to want to be utilizing the exotic gauntlets, Karnstein armlets. This is going to allow you to begin health regeneration after you get a melee kill. You can also take this further with pairing it with a swashbuckler weapon. Any swashbuckler weapon will do the job, or possibly if you want to pair this with a Monte Carlo, since auto rifles will be receiving a buff. Again guys, I made an entire build guide on this video on my channel, so link in the description down below, check it out. But again, this is just the basics of it. You can run it with the basics, but if you want further in-depth guides on this, you want to know what mods to run, what type of armor to look for, check out the video. So you're probably wondering, well Brave, how do we go about utilizing this build? It is very simple. What you're going to want to do is deal damage with any weapon. I personally would utilize a weapon with Swashbuckler, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be dealing damage to your enemy. Once you've done a significant amount of damage and you can clean them up with the melee, you are going to use your Celestial Fire melee, get a kill from far away, being able to proc Swashbuckler times 5, and stay in the fight, because at that very moment, if you took any damage at all, it'll be negated, you'll start healing, and you'll be able to continue to push on. By doing so, if you have Swashbuckler times 5 active because of the melee, or you're utilizing the Monte Carlo, this is the time to push into your enemies and just give it to them. Next, we're going to be getting into 2 hunter builds. 2 hunter builds that I can tell you right now, if used properly, they are going to rise to the top of the most hated list. People are going to hate these. Starting off with the first one, guys, is what I like to call the ultimate Wallhack build. Now, for those of you who did not read the most recent TWAB, Bungie removed the Wallhack ability from the One-Eyed Mask and the Wallhack ability from the Sanguine Alchemy. Now, keep in mind, those weren't the only Wallhacks out there. There is one more Wallhack build, and we're going to be getting that one today. So if you're wondering why Wallhacks are so powerful in game modes such as Elimination and Trials of Osiris, well, that's because by knowing where your enemies are behind walls, you get valuable information. You know the amount of enemies there are. If behind a wall there are 3 enemies sitting there, you can let your teammates know, don't push that. You know the distance, how far away they are. So if you go, okay guys, push this wall here, they're not too far away, we should be able to take them on. Again, an exact location, knowing where, if I use my Wallhack ability, I know how far these enemies are. I know their exact location, and you can plan your next move around that. this is something that I feel is going to be number one in, again, an elimination game mode where you only have one life and that life is precious. By knowing all this valuable information, you and your teammates can plan around that. So how are we going to go about this build? Let me go down the steps of what armor pieces and weapons you need before I tell you how to utilize this. So the first thing you want to utilize is the exotic gauntlets Khepri Sting. Again, Khepri Sting will allow you to see your enemy's outline from behind a wall when the exotic perk is active, when you smoke yourself. This is Wallhack number 1. Next, you're going to want to use the exotic bow, the Wish Ender, which reads, while aiming down sights with a fully drawn bow, enemies behind walls are highlighted. This is going to give you Wallhack number 2. Just those two alone are powerful. Now the last one is subject to change if Bungie decides to make any changes to the Night Stalker class, Wave the Wraith, which reads, if you get a critical kill while crouched, you are granted invisibility and true sight, which gives you Wallhack number 3. Now, I will recommend to pair this with a quick draw hand cannon for those easy cleanups with the Wish Ender. Again, one I can recommend right off the bat is going to be the Kindled Orchid that you can get quick draw on. Very easy to farm, very quick to get, guys. Now, this one right here, keep in mind that you can pair this with the Oath Keepers, allowing you to utilize the Wish Ender, 24/7. But I feel like in a game mode like Trials of Osiris and Elimination, you do have to go out there and fight with your teammates, which brings you to utilizing a powerful weapon such as, the Kindled Orchid. By having a weapon like the Kindled Orchid readily available, all you have to do, rather than fully drawing your bow out and using the Wish Ender, you would have to smoke yourself with the Khepri Sting. Going about it, how are you going to do this? When you initially spawn in the map, regardless of whatever map you're playing on, we'll take Widow's Court for instance, and you're playing by the trucks area. If you're pushing, once you get to a certain point to where you know enemies are already positioned, because again, it's elimination. People are going to post up with snipers. Once you get to a certain position to where you know people are going to be sniping from, you smoke yourself. At that very moment, what you're going to be doing is giving your teammates valuable information. There's one guy sniping here. There's two on this side. Oh, one guy's by himself on this section over here. Go isolate him. Again, if you don't have another smoke bomb, which is perfect. But again, guys, if you want the full armor build on this, the whole mods and everything like that, check out the video down below. But again, if you don't have another smoke, very simple, switch to your Wish Ender and continue to follow that solo player. Or track all three players. Hey, if you got a grenade, grenade them. Why? They're all standing together. This is valuable information that the Wish Ender will give you. Again, guys, that is going to be Wallhack build, the ultimate Wallhack build. Getting into the third build of the video, which on the topic of invisibility, this next build uses one of my favorite exotics in the game, the Gemini Jester. And for those of you who don't know how this exotic works, when you utilize your class ability, you disable your enemy's radar, which in a game mode like Elimination, this is huge. And keep in mind, I've heard people say in the past, well, Brave, if my enemy's using One-Eyed Mask, they'll track me if I hurt them with my, my Gemini Jesters, because Gemini Jesters, for those of you who don't know, when you activate it, it deals 2 or 3 damage, which is a very small amount of damage, but that damage is what's disabling the radar. Back in the day when One-Eyed Mask could track, this right here would give you a crosshair on your body. But again, One-Eyed Mask has been fixed. You're going to want to be utilizing the Gemini Jester, being able to take your enemy's radar. They're not going to have a radar, meaning you and your teammates can collapse on them easily. You're going to want to pair this with the exotic sidearm, the Rat King, which when you get a kill with the Rat King, this will grant you invisibility. And if you have the catalyst for the Rat King, you will begin health regeneration. Guys, the Rat King is pretty OP, I'm not going to lie. So you're probably asking, well, Brave, I got the exotic armor piece to use, and I got the exotic weapon. What subclass do I use? You can use any subclass, but for me personally, I want to take this a little further. I recommend to utilize Bottom Tree Night Stalker, which when you use your smoke bomb ability, this is going to allow you and your teammates to go invisible. Which, if you have a teammate who is sniping, this is going to be a huge helping hand towards them. Imagine them trying to focus, your enemy trying to snipe down lane, they're hard scoping, and your teammate who's like a top tier sniper is invis, they'll never see it coming. Boom, you just gave your teammate the advantage. Again, if you want the full breakdown of that build, it's going to be down in the description. But right off the bat, guys, Gemini Jester, Rat King, Bottom Tree Night Stalker, smoke your friends so they go invis. huge. Getting into the next build, guys, which for those of you who are wondering, well, Brave, these are Hunter and Warlock builds. Where's my Titan build? Titan build's coming up right now, guys. All right, so the Titan build is very special. This one right here, it's taking it back to the D1 days. We're turning back the hands of time. We're going to give you the ability to kill your enemy with one-hit grenades. Yes, guys, one-hit grenades. So how are we going to go about this build? Number one, you have to be a Titan. Number two, you want to be utilizing the chest piece, Heart of the Inmost Lights. Now, that chest piece reads, using an ability, Grenade, Melee, or Barricade, empowers the other two abilities. Empowered abilities have faster regen. Melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. So how do we take this a step further? Before I give you the breakdown of how to utilize this build here, you're going to want to be utilizing Bottom Tree Hammers, which reads, the only perk we want there is going to be Sunspots. Getting an ability kill or solar ability kill grants you a Sunspot. Sunspots, while standing in your own Sunspot, your abilities regenerate faster and you deal bonus damage. Alright, Brave, break it down for us. How are we going to do this? Very simple. You're going to want to pop your barricade. By doing so, your grenade now does bonus damage, meaning any Resilience Guardian, you will be able to one-tap them by sticking them, which grenades, the tracking is pretty crazy on them. Again, you'll see in the footage in the background. By hitting them with that grenade, you kill them. If they are next to their teammates, if they're by a teammate, and that teammate has any damage on them, you will kill both of them. Footage in the background shows it. You can get multiple kills because people like to clump together. Perfect. Sunspot activates. You get in there and you stand in your Sunspot. I'll even give you this little one right here. If you miss your grenade, but they're in your face because they're going to ape you, they want to clean you up with the melee, when you still utilize your shields, you can still do a very powerful melee hit because of that Heart of the Inmost Lights. So regardless, if you miss your grenade and that enemy is just chasing you down, they're right in your face, you punch them. You do what Titans do best and you punch them. By doing so, you'll activate a Sunspot. You'll activate a Sunspot with a grenade kill or a melee kill. Regardless, get a kill with your grenade or your melee, activate Sunspot. By doing so, jump in there, guys, with your freaking Ariana's Vow and get a body hit kill. Jump in there with your Revoker and get a body hit kill, because by standing in your Sunspot, your abilities regen faster. By standing in your Sunspot, you can one-tap with a high-impact sniper. So the final build is what I'm going to consider the best team build I've ever utilized. It's going to be based around Empowering Rifts and Luminarch. You want you and your teammates to be on the same page. If you want this build to be utilized to its maximum potential, you're going to need to run at least one Warlock and an Empowering Rift. That Warlock who's running the Empowering Rift, if you want to get more rifts back quickly, you're going to want to run Well of Radiance, but it's not necessary. Any subclass will work. Now, again, based around Luminarch, what you want to utilize is a Hunter. If you don't have a Hunter, any character can run it, but preferably a Hunter, since you can run this with Oathkeepers. If you're a Hunter, what you want to utilize is a quick draw weapon. Again, guys, link to this video is going to be down in the description, but let me break it down for you. How is it going to work, right? So you're going to want to have 1 to 2 Hunters, and that Warlock is going to be roaming with you. You're going to rotate around the map together as a team, but that Warlock is going to drop an Empowering Rift and move away from it. Because again, if people see, Guardians see a Warlock standing in an Empowering Rift, they're going to avoid it. But if you are a Hunter and you see an Empowering Rift, if your Warlock has placed that Empowering Rift in a good spot, stand in it. By standing in an Empowering Rift, your Luminarch will kill with one shot to the head. They will burn out. Regardless of the resilience, they can be rocking 10 resilience and they will still burn out. That right there is probably one of the best team builds. If you don't have a Hunter on your team, it's perfectly fine. I don't know what you're doing. There's like a kajillion Hunters. But if you are a Titan, you just have to time the pull correctly and be able to get a kill with it. Now, if you're saying, well, Brave, none of us are running Warlocks, but I still want to use the Luminarch. How do I take this a little further? Now, most people would say, use Luminarch and the Lucky Pants, and now you have quick draw on your hand cannons. The thing is, you want to save that exotic slot for something else. Luminarch can be easily timed to where you get the perfect bow pull. But like me, and in a high stakes scenario match like Trials, you probably don't have time to time that pull. Well, what you can run is Oathkeepers, but you still want that quick draw hand cannon, right? You still want to be able to quick draw it out. you want to utilize one of the 2 quick draw hand cannons available in the game that deal a massive amount of damage, which is going to be the old fashioned. You probably have this with quick draw, utilize it. For those who don't have a old fashioned with quick draw, you can always use a 10 paces, and that one rolls with quick draw as well too. And what you want to do is, doesn't really matter how you utilize it. You can shoot him in the body with the Le Monarque and hit him in the head with the 10 paces. You can hit him in the head first with the 10 paces. You can shoot him in the body with Le Monarque. You can shoot him in the head with the Le Monarque. You can shoot him in the body with the 10 paces. It doesn't really matter how you want to utilize this. I tried my best, guys, to keep this video under 15 minutes. Hopefully I did. But there are so many builds that just are gonna help you get flawless. There's so many builds that are gonna infuriate your enemies. The Le Monarque build, I promise you, when someone gets hit in the head and they burn out from one shot, they're gonna be mad. When someone dies to one stick grenade from a Titan, they're gonna be mad, furious. They're gonna think of D1, flashbacks. You know, PTSD's gonna kick in. Regardless, guys, hopefully you go flawless. Hopefully you've been enjoying this series. If you have, don't forget to drop a sub on Ascendant Nomad channel and my own channel. And again, guys, good luck to all of you out there. We'll see you in the next episode.